knew it. I can't never come down here without there being turkeys. I was gonna give it just a minute to see if I see any dove out here. Look right there, I'm already seeing some flying. I haven't taken any time to come down here in the afternoons and look for dove, but I've been seeing them fly out in the afternoons. I don't have a whole lot here right now, but they are starting to find these oat seeds on the ground. There is a little kind of drop off right there that you can't see with the camera. They're down in it right now. Oh, I'm hearing them flying. I'm seeing some dove. So one of my favorite things to do in the afternoon, once I get this planted in brown top millet, is kind of just come down here, park in this corner, sit. Man, there's dove flying everywhere right now, and I ain't got my camera out. Wow, there's some big dove. So I like to come down here, sit, and just watch the dove fly in. That's one of my favorite things to do, and Tiffany would do that a lot with me too. But I got a few chores to go knock out up there. One of the chores that's on my list is my batteries are dead in the camera again. It's taking several hundred photos a day, so it goes through batteries every few weeks. So welcome back, everybody. Just got home from work, and I'm going to try to knock out a few chores this afternoon, a few little piddly things. And I'm also going to show y'all probably the last update on the building. From here on out, when I show it to you, it should be complete. So the crew is probably not making as quick a progress as I'd hoped, but I've got to remember, it's two guys. That's the crew. So you got one driving the tractor, lifting the other guy up while he's putting up the boards, putting up the trusses, and now they're starting to do 10. So it's starting to look like a barn now. So I got to keep in mind it's two guys. It'll get done when it gets done. I'm just hoping this tropical storm, although it's not coming our way, it's supposed to do a lot of rain, and I know that'll delay the work. So after I show you all that, probably going to fire up the weed eater. Probably going to do that first. Tiffany did some mowing today. She had a day off, so I appreciate her doing that. We did a few things. Probably show you the garden. Going to cut some okra today. I know y'all probably get sick of garden videos, and we'll talk about what's coming up. I got a little bit of tractor work coming up to do if I don't get rained out this weekend. So there's a few things going on. All right, so look at here. We are making some progress. Only thing that has me really concerned about all this, and I want to ask your opinion, look at the overhang on the tin here. I have never seen that much overhang from the edge of the boards, from the last board there, fascia board, whatever you want to call it. I'm very concerned about that much overhang wind getting underneath it and potentially ripping it up off the board. I'm used to it only being a few inches away and screwed in tight. So yeah, that is the only thing up to this point that has had me a little concerned. So that's how the tin was cut. I've went out and measured my other stack and made sure. I was like, dang, did they put the wrong tin up? But no, that's definitely what belongs there. So we'll have to see how that goes. I did get up and look just because I'm picky and have OCD. And what I do like that they done, that I totally agree with, is they have screws every few inches on this outside board, which is where the tin's going to want to lift from. I think it's far more important to have a bunch of screws on the edge of the tin than it is in the middle. Maybe quite a few screws in the back, but I don't know, maybe y'all agree with that, maybe you don't. So we're starting to look like a barn now. They come back today, they have all the fascia boards up, started putting some tin up. Calling for a lot of rain tomorrow, but we'll see. Otherwise, the lean-to should be absolutely done. They should move over to one of these edges, but just does not look like this week that the building's going to get done. And by the time y'all watch this video, I'm sure it's the weekend when I post this. So hopefully first of next week, even though a lot of rain from that tropical storm's calling, I hope they get out here and can get some work knocked out. So selling a bunch of 8x8 cribbing. Y'all want to buy some? No, I love having this stuff around. There's always something to block up. One thing I am kind of happy with is the way these posts are treated. There's only that much in the center that doesn't look to have the treatment in it. It is all too common to buy treated wood nowadays, and it's barely treated in. Everything else is just untreated. So I am happy to see that. And this is that real good CCA treated stuff that's kind of got that not so good chemical in it, but that is exactly what I want for the bugs out here. So I'll give you a good look. Hopefully I'm not blinding you with the sun. Let's step back here. So we're starting to look like something. I mean, it's looking good now. Give me a good idea how much coverage I'm gonna have. So I'm getting excited. We are getting there. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And one thing, I was just out there driving the range around whenever I was weed eating. One thing I did not plan that worked out just about perfect. The peak of this building is within just a couple of inches, it looks like, of the peak of that building. Once I get the ridge cap on, they should be identical. The pitch looks identical. So this being a 30 wide, and just so happens the post height they cut, it's going to match up perfect with that roof. So when you're out there looking, like whenever we get looking back from the house when we build it, it's a nice smooth transition. So I really like the way it looks. And if you're new to the channel and wondering about this pole barn, wondering why I didn't butt it up to the building being a 30 wide on this side right here before we had the lean-to, it's because I wanted to leave this side right here spaced out a good 12 feet so I can you know, pull out from this way, drive through here, come back, get some tractor equipment. I can even drive a truck, trailer, truck and boat right through here, throw some fish out of the boat into the sink, etc. So I wanted to leave it spaced off a little. My plans are to come back here later, build a lean-to out here that goes underneath the building, maybe find a way to drain the water off, and actually put a skinning rack out here so I can work with lights, shelter overhead, and still have access to my little outdoor sink, faucet, etc. So that's future plans. We'll get to that when we get to it. But happy with what I'm seeing. Of course, I wish it was done, but it's not. That's just the way it is. But it looks good. All the posts look straight. So I will say these guys really took their time laying everything out with the string and all. So happy with what I see. All right, so got a few little chores knocked out. We got to jump in the garden. I got some okra to cut finally. My oh my, look at this okra. It is man, it is so healthy looking. It's growing several inches a day. It's so thick. And I must admit, I cheated on y'all. I come out here and cut a few pods yesterday, but I had so much going on, I just did not have time to record. But I probably didn't get but 6 or 7 pods maybe. I think we're gonna get a little more than that today, but every plant's starting to put on a bunch of little pods this size, so that means in just a couple more days, I'm gonna be cutting like crazy. So let's get started. All right, so just a couple pods this size today. Like I said, I cut 6 or 7 yesterday. I'm seeing quite a few more that are about this size coming along. So as the days progress on, I'm gonna be cutting more and more and more of this stuff. And while I'm right here looking, looks like the beans, even though there's only a few plants, are producing like crazy. So I need to go ahead and pick some of those. There is a spider in here, looks like a huntsman spider, who lives in this plant alone. Every time I come in here to dig, he's sitting on one of the peas just waiting. Sometimes he's got a fly in his mouth or something else. At first, it was bothering me. Now, just kind of got used to him. He's in there every single day. All right, so I got me a good handful of beans. Take a quick look at these cantaloupes here. I wove them in the other day. They're starting to grab a hold and climb, so that's good. I am noticing I've got some powdery mildew forming on my cantaloupe leaves. So we're going to get out here with a little bit of neem oil and spray these things down. So the same subscriber I was talking about, Mr. Harry, he suggested I try this neem oil. I bought some off Amazon. It's perfectly safe for vegetables, and you mix it with a little bit of safe dish detergent, water, just a little, I don't know, probably put a teaspoon in a bottle this size, and it's really good for fungus, also good for bugs. I need to mix me up a big 1 or 2 gallon sprayer so I can come out here and really hit this stuff. Now, I know a lot of people worried about bees. I'm looking at bees and flowers right now. From what I've read, if you spray this on a bee wet, it can cause a problem. However, once it's dry, from what I've read, it's perfectly safe for bees, so you don't even have to worry about that with pollination in your garden. So I'm still in the experimental stages of how much to mix here. I won't spray no more leaves than that in case it has a negative effect on them. I'll check them in a couple of days, and we'll see what happens. So we'll do another quick look in the garden. Peppers are coming on like crazy. That's those Cuban peppers, Cubanelles. Every plant's loaded with them now. I did just pick a few off of that plant. I'm seeing plenty more coming on too. My jalapenos, they're looking real good. There's some babies up in there. I've just seen some decent sized ones somewhere. Yeah, they're starting to get a little bigger on this plant. And a lot of y'all said, hey, if you plant a hot pepper by a mild pepper, they can cross-pollinate and make your mild peppers hot. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. However, jalapeno to me, while they're a bit spicy, it's not a super hot pepper, and that's the hottest thing I have in the garden. So if that does make, you know, some bells or bananas or Cuban peppers a little hotter, don't think it's going to bother me. Now, if I had some ghost peppers or something crazy out here, yeah, that'd be a problem. But I don't like anything hotter. Got bell peppers everywhere in here. I don't like anything hotter than a jalapeno. Look at here. Peppers, peppers, peppers. My goodness, got more than I know what to do with. My favorite corn. Silked everywhere, tousled all out. And I learned something new the other day watching Haas Tools. I love watching their YouTube program. Don't own any of their tools, but they are very educational. I didn't realize, I believe it's the silk is maybe the female part of the plant, because you know there's no flowers here to pollinate, and the tassels or the tops are actually the male plant. I believe I'm getting that correct, or it's vice versa. And although you can't see it, if I actually smack this right now, there is pollen falling everywhere. And that's what actually drops on the silk and pollinates your corn. So if you don't have a lot of wind and all, you could get some bad pollination. And according to this guy, he seems far more educated than me. Every piece of silk here actually represents a kernel of corn. So you've got to get that pollen on that silk to fill out your corn. So I thought that was quite neat. Thought I'd share that. But like I said, Haas Tools, check them out. Very educational. So you can see all the corn I have in here. I mean, it's just doing good. It feels like it's filling out to me. They're getting bigger and bigger by the day. And looks like it's going to be a good yield. We're going to pick some squash and zucchini here in a second. Potatoes, looking really good, really filled out. They almost, to my eye, They might be starting to die back. I don't know if it's the hot sun or if it's that time, so I'll watch them. If they all start yellowing up and dying off, we know we're not far from digging those up. Corn over here is doing excellent. I mean, it's doing really good. It's not growing tall, but I mean, I'm seeing 3 ears of corn. Some stalks have 4 ears of corn. It's crazy on these little short stalks, so we'll see how that feels out. I love showing off these cantaloupes. So they're just getting bigger and bigger by the day. Look at there. My squash is starting to get a lot of that powdery mildew too, which is not uncommon with squash. So I'm gonna spray a little here, kind of see how the leaves react to that neem oil. I've already done my other squash with it earlier, and it wiped a lot of that out, did a good job. So I'm gonna give it a try on these. Although I'll be honest with you, our freezer's got a lot of squash and zucchini. We're not far from being done with all that we need. We'll start giving it away, and then once the bugs really start attacking the squash and zucchini, we're done. We're gonna pull them up. So I haven't recorded and showed a whole lot. I know it hasn't looked like a lot on camera, but I figure y'all are sick and tired of seeing me pick squash and zucchini. I'm not gonna post a video doing that every day. But we've got a lot. We've done filled up a couple of big bins in our freezer. So I guess we'll wrap this video up here. I know we're kind of getting repetitive with a lot of update videos. It's just kind of what I've had time for in the afternoon, still adjusting to shift work, or getting off of shift work, on the day shift I should say. So I appreciate all the positive comments there. We'll get it figured out. We'll keep this channel going. And haven't really showed the slab. There's not much to show. So this weekend, if it doesn't completely rain me out, we're gonna get the John Deere out. I'm gonna bust these boards off, get the rebar out, and we're gonna get some of this grass back here, start putting dirt and grass around this slab, kind of get it as nice looking as we can, at least edged wise, and then I'll haul the rest off. I need to mow the pasture. I've got a few little cleanup chores to do with the tractor, several things on my list. So just depending on Mother Nature, we're gonna try to change the videos up some because I know they're getting a bit repetitive. The slab, some things I wish I'd have done different. Overall, I'm happy with it. It's completely cured now. It's been, let's see, 1 week. I know things don't quite add up with how I've been talking to y'all, but my videos are always delayed. By the time I record, edit, and upload, they're usually a few days behind. One thing I wish I hadn't known, but it's my first slab. You can see some light colored areas. That's where I troweled over, and I didn't realize that would change the texture and color so much. Texture, yes. Color, didn't realize it'd do that. Really no big deal. It looks like I have a big crack right across the middle. I was panicking. Oh my goodness, my brand new slab's done cracked. I got to looking at it. It's where apparently a beetle decided to walk across the day of while it was still somewhat damp, and has made a crack looking trail all the way across, but you can look at it, it's just little feet and where his belly was dragging. So I was like, oh, thank goodness, I really messed up. What I'm thinking about doing is either trying to find a 7 foot by 7 foot rug on Amazon, because that's what the inside dimensions will be after I do 6-inch thick walls, or I'm really starting to think if I can find like a quart of that shop floor paint. I think that'd be really neat to do out here. Maybe paint this slab, put some of that flake in it or something like you see, you know, the garage or shop. So that might be something I'd try to find, as long as that isn't outrageous. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. I'd rather buy a rug. So this build is coming. I've got to get lumber soon. With all these storms that are popping up, I'm eager to start on the walls here. Again, I'm just trying to figure out everything with the recent move to day shift. And it's hard to work with these thunderstorms and everything that's coming in the afternoons. So bear with me. The channel's about to get exciting again. The good thing about the rain that's coming, we're about to start disking and working in the food plot some more. So a lot of tractor videos coming. Mowing, disking, some cleanup chores, scooping dirt, grass work, etc. And we're about to start getting into food plots real heavy. The building should be done probably by the time you watch the next episode. Start moving everything in. We've got to go do some dirt work over there with the tractor, plant some grass. So my list is this long, but should make for some interesting content. Thank y'all so much for watching. It means a lot. I appreciate you supporting the channel, and I'll catch you on the next video.